Welcome. Welcome, one and all, to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. First of all, do I have this right? Yes, I do. Happy Tax Day, everybody. If you're watching this live at home, you have 20-ish minutes to get your taxes in before the deadline. And if you're an IRS worker, you have recently been fired. I'm sorry about that. On an inspiring note, today, Major League Baseball is celebrating Jackie Robinson Day. And, yeah, they're celebrating it, and thanks to the Trump administration, no one knows why. As part of the celebration today, every player and coach was wearing Robinson's number, 42. Yeah. Reminds me of that old classic Abbott and Costello bit. Who's on first? 42's on first, 42's on second, 42's on third. Got it. Besides having to pay taxes and history books being fed into an industrial shredder, there's another reason some people are getting a little upset. According to The Atlantic, the constitutional crisis is here. Already? I don't know what to wear. Oh, a jumpsuit? Do I have a choice? Oh, it's a jumpsuit. Okay, all right. One evidence of this crisis is the case of a Maryland dad, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who, despite a judge's order barring him from being deported, was snatched off the streets by ICE and sent to a prison down in El Salvador, which Trump's own people admit was an administrative error. We've all done it. No, come on. Folks, have some patience. We've all done it. You mean to send the email to just one guy in accounting, and instead you kidnap a man and send him to a prison in El Salvador. Anyway, the case made its way up to the Supreme Court, and the Supremes did not buy the Trump administration's excuse of whoopsie gulag, and they ordered Trump to facilitate the return of Abrego Garcia from El Salvador, but so far Donald Trump is defying the Supreme Court. And there's your constitutional crisis. It's a failure of checks and balances. Court says do it, he won't do it. Keep in mind, these are court orders, not court suggestions. The Supreme Court has to have more power than the bathroom sign that says employees must wash hands. Because you know Trump ignores that sign. He's heading back to the table and dipping his pee-pee fingers right in the chicken bucket. Wow. Now that they've lost in court, the administration is saying it wasn't an error at all, that they made that mistake on purpose. Here's a DHS spokescrony explaining why Abrego Garcia shouldn't be returned.
He was in our country illegally. He's from El Salvador, was born in El Salvador, and the media forgot to mention he is an MS-13 gang member. The media would love for you to believe that this is a media darling, that he's just some Maryland father. Well, Osama bin Laden was also a father, and yet he wasn't a good guy.
No, he wasn't a good guy. He was a bad guy. That's a bit of a stretch. A guy just cut me off in traffic. You know who else who drove a car? The Unabomber! I'm so angry I had to take off my glasses to yell. Don't know why I did that. No, I'm sorry. The government has presented no evidence to support their claim that Abrego Garcia is a member of MS-13. So far, all they've said is that one time, back in 2019, they got a uncorroborated tip from an informant that he belonged to MS-13 in New York, a state he has never lived in, and also was wearing a Chicago Bulls hat. Well, of course, the MAGA crowd believes you can tell everything about somebody because of hat. That's their whole deal. And they're not entirely wrong, because my entire life story is captured perfectly with this hat. There you go. Okay? The rhinestones say, I'm fun. The letters say, from New York. The denim says, working man. The back says, I'm adjustable. And the whole thing says, I'm fabulous. Is that a crime now? And I'm being told there is a bill making its way through Congress. Okay. Now, if you're telling yourself, well, what happened to this guy doesn't apply to me, try adding the word yet. Because for the last week, Trump has been publicly mulling the idea of sending American citizens to rot in the El Salvador hell pit. So the point is, Trump wants to arrest people without due process in defiance of the Supreme Court, and also wants to include American citizens. We're not on our way to a dictatorship. We're on the ship with old Tater Dick. Regardless. Really? A long walk. That was a long walk, man. Regardless of your politics, those aren't your politics. The only people who thrive in a dictatorship are the dictator and the fine folks at Carl's unmarked windowless van and head-sized bag depot. But there must be something we can do. The founders must have built in some sort of break glass if Constitution stops working mechanism, right? Kinda. Because when somebody refuses to comply with a court order, it is the primary role and mission of the United States Marshals Service to obey, execute, and enforce all orders of the federal courts. And you do not want to mess with marshals. You know their slogan, Marshals, you will beg for the logic of a TJ Maxx. Loose underwear bin. 3 words, loose underwear bin. In the face of this authoritarian power grab, one institution just stood up to Trump. A little backstory. For some weeks now, the administration has been trying to magify higher education by imposing demands on private universities. And yesterday, Harvard became the first university to refuse to comply with the administration's requirements. Boom! Hey, Trump administration, now you're just like the rest of us because you just got rejected by Harvard. The demands the government made of Harvard were ridiculous and included things like immediately shutting down any programming related to diversity, equity, and inclusion, which would mean big changes to Harvard's curriculum. Any students registered for Power to the People, Black Power, Radical Feminism, and Gay Liberation will now find themselves enrolled into Intro to Sudoku. Guess where the numbers go? The Trump administration also wanted Harvard to conduct plagiarism checks on all current and prospective faculty members and to report foreign students who commit conduct violations immediately to federal authorities. Oh, great. I mean, dorm RAs were already drunk on power. This would only make them worse. You guys, you're not allowed to microwave popcorn in the common areas? I could send you all to El Salvador, okay? Unless you guys want to hang out? No? Okay. Harvard's president clapped back to these insane dictatorial demands, saying, the university will not surrender its independence or its constitutional rights. Huzzah! Huzzah, I say! Egad! Harvard will never surrender. Just listen to the battle cry of their fierce, defiant youths.
I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life.
That's right. Infringe on their constitutional rights, and the crocodillos will kick your ass in 5-part harmony. In response to their defiance, the Trump administration froze $2.2 billion in Harvard's federal funding, which is a lot. Or it's a little. I don't know. I didn't go to Harvard. I don't know. But I'm guessing Harvard can weather this storm because they've been around for way longer than this country. In fact, Harvard was founded in 1636. Of course, back then, the only majors they offered were Latin grammar, Intro to Leechcraft, and witch kindling. We got a great show for you tonight. My guests are actors David Oyelowo and Finn Wolfhard, plus a performance by Okie Go. But when we come back, a celebration of the richest people in the world. You're gonna like